We have some members online, as this is a, what we call it, a hybrid meeting, which is the way we have decided to move forward, seeing that the Omicron is upon us. So we have some members and the permanent secretary for the new ministry online also. Thank you, FS. Mr. Jarrett, thank you for being here. Members, we are here to go through the third supplementary estimates. As yesterday, the Minister of Finance had tabled the third supplementary estimates, and as usual, it has to come to the PAAC. Then the report goes back to the House, which will be tabled next week, Tuesday, before the Minister is able to pass the supplementary estimates. Somewhat a bit untidy, but it is a necessary exercise. Hence we're here. So thanks for making it, Madam FS, as I know that you have a busy day today, and for the member that is here, and for those online. Move to item 4, apologies for absence. We have an apology from member Heroy Clark, Carencia Morrison, and member Fitz Jackson. We have also the confirmation of minutes of the meeting held on January 12, 2020. I would take those minutes as being read.
Chair, I read through the minutes. I just have maybe 2 corrections.
Sure.
Quickly, on page 3, under supporting employees with the transfer of cash grant payments,
yes,
where it spoke to Member Hamilton highlighting issues. On the second sentence, it says supporting employees with the transfer of cash. Mm-hmm. So there is something missing between individuals collecting and supporting employees. So I don't know if maybe we could just recraft the sentence to read individuals collecting grants from the GOJ Care program.
Okay.
And we could put the set cash in brackets.
All right.
And then on page 4, under the Ministry of Transport and Mining, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th line, it says chairman about the entity's overall subvention. We can remove the apostrophe after the S.
Okay, yeah. Yes. All right, thank you. Okay, so I move for the...
So move, Chair.
All right, and seconded by... Can we get a second from a member who is online, please? All right, Member Davis, thank you. Seconded, thank you very much. We move to item 7, new business, which is to review the third supplementary estimate for the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. And also I see that there are some adjustments because of the relocation of certain departments and agencies. So I'll give the FS an opportunity to make her opening remarks, and then we can, if there are any questions, then we can seek those answers.
Thank you, Chair. So consequent on the recent adjustment to the assignment of subjects and departments, agencies, and other public bodies during the current fiscal year, the Financial Administration and Audit Act financial instructions require that a supplementary budget be prepared to address the budgetary allocations in respect of the changed entities. The third supplementary estimates for fiscal year 2021-2022 therefore treats exclusively with the needs that have arisen as a result of the recent changes. The adjustments proposed to the existing approved budget for fiscal year 2021-22 all represent reallocations and do not alter the total budgeted expenditure of $893 billion. The third supplementary estimates provides for the closure of Head 21,000, Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, and transfer of its functions to Head 19,000, Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. This also results in the Forestry Department, which is a department of the former Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change, becoming a department of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. The supplementary estimates provides for the establishment of Head 27,000, Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, which will incorporate the Law Revision Secretariat from the Ministry of Justice's Central Ministry, as well as the Legal Reform Unit and the Office of the Parliamentary Council, both former departments of the Ministry of Justice. The third supplementary estimate also provides for the transfer of records and information management and information regulator services from Head 41,000, Ministry of Education Youth, formerly Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, to Head 15,000, Office of the Prime Minister. Those are the adjustments addressed under this third supplementary estimate.
Okay, members, you have gotten the opening comments from the FS. Are there any questions?
Well, for me, Chair, going through the paperwork, I realized that, this is really cosmetic in nature. So it's really a tidying up of government's affairs, which I really don't have an issue with because we have nothing else to really review. There's no change to any figures. So yeah. I really have no issues with it.
Okay. Any questions from any member online? Not hearing you, Member Hannah. On mute. We're not even seeing it up there. No, not. Member Hannah is trying to say something, but we're not able to hear. Is the technical team, can we get some assistance, please? Okay, the technical team said they're sorting it out, Member Hannah. You can go ahead. Try to unmute, Member Hannah.
I switched devices. I don't know if this one is better.
Okay, yes, we're hearing you now.
Sorry about that. No, what I was saying is I don't have any problems with what I've seen. And I think it's largely cosmetic. So if that is the case, then
yes,
I'm okay with it.
All right. Okay. Mr. Robertson, we have you online.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members, the team from the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Also, we'd like to recognize the Principal Finance Officer from the Ministry of Justice, Ms. Shelleen Rennie. Morning.
Welcome. Is there any opening remarks or anything you want to say about your new ministry and your new appointment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity. Just to indicate that, and I think it's clear in terms of the mandate of the ministry. So as per the assignment of subjects dated January 11th, 2022, the subjects are constitutional reform, legal education, legal reform, and protection of human rights. We have been very focused right now in terms of ensuring that the ministry is organized, despite not having a fixed location at this time. The minister and myself and the support team are currently housed at the Office of the Prime Minister. The team from the Ministry of Justice, which has now been transferred to this ministry, are still housed at the Ministry of Justice building on Constant Spring Road. As we speak, work has begun because we have actually hit the ground running. There is no manual to guide you as to how to set up a ministry. Notwithstanding, I have been working assiduously to ensure that the ministry is set up, and there are a whole lot of administrative matters that I am dealing with and the team is dealing with as we speak. Just want to also indicate that we have agreed with the Ministry of Justice to share services, and this ministry, Mr. Chairman and members, will be exemplary in terms of shared corporate services. So we're looking at sharing HR, internal audit, and also accounts services. There are some we have to also have regard to as it relates to the weighty matters. For example, constitutional reform. There will be need for consultancies there, because currently there's a dearth of capacity within the ambit of the ministry to deal with this area. But the ministry has to also recruit additional staff. We have a very draft organizational structure, which I'm going through as we speak and will be finalized in very short order. We propose to recruit, and I just share just in summary, some of the areas that we'll be dealing with in terms of recruitment will be procurement. The Public Procurement Act is very clear in terms of the responsibilities there, so the risks are very high. So we may have to not share that area, but recruit the competent and qualified officers there. We will need support in the area of public relations and communication. You will note, Mr. Chairman and members, that one of our responsibilities is legal education. So we're going beyond just mere subvention and support to the normal law school. We'll be actually embarking on a sensitization campaign to educate the ministries, departments, and agencies on some critical matters, legislative process, their role in the process, and how we can expedite. But also the fact that very often government entities are brought before the court for various actions. So there seems to be some challenges there in terms of adherence to certain rules. We are also planning to recruit in the area of ICT and strategic planning, policy, and performance management. Under the latter, we will also be recruiting a risk officer to manage risks, and very importantly, customer service unit to treat with service delivery matters, because we will be exemplary in service excellence as a ministry. This is something we take very seriously. We are currently looking at some options with respect to location, and the site visits have been made. I have another site visit this afternoon, and we are hoping in very short order that we will also settle that matter. So, Mr. Chairman, members, team, that represents a summary of what is before me as Permanent Secretary. Certainly it's quite a bit, but I am very confident that we'll be able to achieve all these things. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, member.
Mr. Chair, I was listening to Piers Robertson just now, and I smiled quite a bit while he was speaking, because some of the very issues I had in relation to the building of capacity in that particular ministry, it seems as though he's hit the ground running. So I'm looking forward to the budget for next year for this particular ministry, and I'm hoping that it will show the robust nature in which this ministry will be operating, because I understand the value of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can determine his success or failures when we see the budget first, because especially to deal with the whole thing of the Office of the Parliamentary Counsel, which we have been told time and time again, one, the staffing, an issue to effect, timely legislation coming, and some of the staffing shortages that the Ministry of Justice also faced. So being it a ministry to itself is one thing, but if the response is going to be in dealing with some of those issues, then that is how we're going to then determine the success or the failure of making it a standalone ministry by itself, or is it that we're just doing a standalone but not giving it resources to be effective. So I guess we will see. It is early to judge, but we will see when that time comes, when the budget is tabled and the performance after the first year at least of the ministry, if it has been effective by just putting it as a standalone ministry. Thank you, Mr. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. If there are no other, we move to any other business. The report will be done and circulated for members to be able to put their signatures to it for us to table it next week, Tuesday. Again, in item 9, thank you very much, Madam FS, Mrs. Jarrett, for coming at such short notice, as your minister would have put you, notify you that he wanted this done this week. And thank you, members, and members from the PS and the members of staff from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. Members, if there are no other business, go ahead.
Not to delay the committee, but I remember in the January 12 meeting that we had, when we were discussing the JUTC in relation to cost-saving measures, that it was recommended that the entity, come before the committee to discuss,
remember, there are a couple other, because we're not done with the Ministry of Education. I think what we need to do is, we're coming to the 7th of February, I think, is the last sitting before the new parliamentary year. Even while that is taking place, we still can have meetings, because we're not done with the Ministry of Education. So I'm going to ask the clerk to look at the available spaces so we can at least wrap that up, and then we can set the dates for some others which we don't need the new budget, because there are some outstanding issues that can be discussed. So I think I'd propose to approach it in that way, and then let us move forward in catching up on some work that is undone. All right? So thanks for raising that. All right, members, thanks again for making short notice. We will circulate the suggested date for the next meeting and have the approval of the members of the committee. Move for the adjournment. Thank you. Thank you very much, members.